welcome back or welcome to my channel. I'm Kayla. If you have not seen my face before, make sure to subscribe down below for weekly videos. I upload every Wednesday and occasionally on Sundays too. Today's video has been requested by you guys to film a college advice video. I'm currently a junior at Marquette University. You know, I'm halfway through college. I'm still here. I'm alive. Am I thriving? I don't know, but I'm doing okay. You know, I'm allowed to give some sort of advice. Take it as you will, but I just want to hop right in. My biggest advice for college freshmen is the way you organize and pick your classes. So I would say try to get your general education classes out of the way. Honestly, before college even started, I really thought you just did that in high school, and then once you were done with history, biology, and math in high school, you didn't do it again in college. But what do you have to do again in college? That. You know, I thought that's what college wasn't, but in case you didn't know, you do need to take general education classes to waste more of your money and time. You can get those out of the way freshman and sophomore year, you're golden. Biggest tip for them is don't stress about your general education classes, because at the end of the day, yes, they're going towards your GPA and stuff like that, but I would rather focus on my advertising classes and my minor classes, because those are the ones that actually matter if you get a good grade in. And at the end of the day, with whatever grade you come out with, even if you have an A or a B or a C, nobody, when you apply for a job, they are never gonna look at your actual grade point average. They're just gonna be like, do you have a degree or not? Whether it's a B- or an A+, it doesn't really make a difference. You pass the class, you pass the class. Honestly, for me, when I am taking general education classes, I don't wanna say that I don't focus on them, but they definitely aren't my top priority, because I know that all I need to do is pass them, which I'm not saying slack in your general ed classes, but I'm saying pick where you want to put more of your energy, because at the end of the day, whatever your major is, that's the classes that matter more. Another thing I would recommend is typically when you're a freshman, I don't know for other schools, but they picked our classes first semester and I hated having an 8 a.m. When you were able to pick your classes, I personally like having maybe a lunch break in between classes, but I would prefer to have a couple classes back to back, because you're just quickly knocking them out. And if you really think about it, you know, in high school you're taking about 7, 8, 9 classes and you're going back to back all freaking day. The classes aren't as long or as intense as college, but you still went back to back in high school, so you can still go back to back in college, because you know what it's like, versus having a 4-hour break where you think you're gonna do homework, which in reality, no. You aren't gonna do homework. You might try to, but you're either gonna watch TV, watch YouTube, hang out with friends, go get food, walk around. You are just going to procrastinate those 4 hours unless you have a deadline for the next class. Another tip for school is go to ratemyprofessor.com. I have found that to be the most helpful tool when I am picking my classes, because you know, at the end of the day, you're still taking the same class, but a professor can really make or break the class for you. I've had professors that are so boring and hard to listen to where I'm going later, and it's just so hard to focus, because you want to try and give them your time and effort and, you know, thousands of dollars in tuition that you're paying to take these classes. But when I have a good professor that is funny, engaging, that works well with how I learn, the class is so much easier to get through, especially when it's kind of a sucky class. Another thing that I'm currently loving is my Fridays, because I do not have classes on Fridays anymore. This might not become a possibility for you as a freshman or early sophomore, but once you start knocking out a bunch of classes and you have more time to really pick your schedule and you have first choice of classes as you have seniority, take those Fridays off. It's really nice. I really prefer to push through today with 4 classes than have 3 and 3 and go all week, just because it's so mentally exhausting sometimes to have to wake up and it's Friday, everyone's almost done by, you know, 1 o'clock, and you're just sitting there till 3 p.m. for some classes. It really just stinks. So for me, I'm gonna try my best to not have Friday classes. Also, it really helps if you have a job, you can work instead of going to class, because honestly, Friday classes, you're not really motivated to learn anyway. So just like, don't have them. Another thing I wanted to talk about is money. So with college, you are paying tuition, whether you have scholarships or not, or financial aid, you are still paying a crap ton of money to be here. So a lot of people ask, how do you save money in college? Well, my first tip would be, hey, get some sort of job. Currently I work at a bakery, but next semester I might actually have a paid internship. So do what you can to get by. And my biggest thing would be, although dorm food can suck and it gets really old really quick, try not to go out, because if I look at my credit card bill for the past 2 months, I go, well, I've only had, like, most of it's just food. So why is it saying I owe $500, $600? Well, because $10 for food adds up really, really fast, especially when you're doing it on the weekly basis. The other thing is, I don't swear on my channel, but F getting textbooks. There are so many loopholes online, and I'm not condoning downloading anything illegally, nor am I admitting to downloading any sort of textbooks or PDFs without paying for them. But sometimes you can find loopholes. You know, a lot of times at the regular, like, Marquette bookstore, a lot of times at the bookstore, as much as they want to tell you that it's the cheapest price, go to Amazon. I've been able to find a handful of textbooks that are, you know, free or easy to download for a much smaller price, or the ebook's cheaper, or the paperback version's cheaper than the hardcover. So really do your research if you have to get textbooks, and definitely wait the first week to get the textbooks to see if you even need the textbooks. When I talked about earlier with Rate My Professor, it's the same thing. A lot of the times in those ratings by other students, they'll tell you right then and there, like, yes, you need this textbook, it is actually used, or you use it maybe once or twice, and when that point comes, you can just borrow it from somebody. The bill's $200, $300, $400, $500, and that could have been put towards literally anything else. The last boring thing I'm going to talk about is just grades really quick, and then I'm going to get into the friends and the parties and roommates and all that fun stuff. But with grades, I think it's important to be open and communicate with your teacher. Even if you have a really large lecture, you can still email them if you have questions just to clarify, because you'd rather clarify than get something completely wrong. And you want to do your work on time, don't procrastinate. I think I can be a procrastinator, but I'm also not, because I like to get things ahead and out of the way. If I know that there's an assignment due that's just like random little questions or a little quiz, like, I try to knock all those out so quick, just because I don't want to worry about them for one, or forget about them when it's due and then you don't get those extra easy, like, 10 points. For me, I'm a horrible test taker. I can knock out a paper really well, I can do projects, all that's so easy. It just comes more naturally to me. But memorizing for exam is so hard. I can't do it. I've never been a big studier. I just don't like it. So get those brownie points or those easy points where you can. Mark them on a calendar. Know and have an alarm set for when something is due, because you don't want to miss any little points. Okay, so now onto the more fun topics, roommates. Now, I have had my fair share of roommates. I think I've done every experience or possible options. Freshman year, if you saw my room tour, I lived in a quad with 4 girls, and sophomore year I lived in a single. I don't know if there needs to be more said. I think the biggest thing is a lot of adults tell you, hey, you have to have a roommate because you're not going to make friends any other way. Fake news, first of all. And honestly, I think your roommates, it can really be a make or break. My roommates freshman year, nothing was really like bad, but you know, we weren't best friends. You know, we got along here and there. There were some discrepancies between a couple of us. But then when I studied abroad in Greece, I was best friends with my roommates and did everything with them, and it was the most fun time I've ever had. So I've really had both cards, where I've had kind of sucky roommates, and then I've had incredible roommates, and then I also have lived alone, which personally I really prefer. But this year, if you guys saw my room tour here, I do have 1 roommate, which I do like, because I would say I'm more of an introvert, even if that might be a little shocking to you guys. But I can sit in my bed, I can be on my computer for 4 or 5 hours, and I'll like look at the clock and be like, well, I'm good. You know, a lot of my friends tell me like, Kayla, you never ask us to hang out. And I'm like, girl, I don't ask anyone to hang out. If you want me to go out, you gotta text me. But I'll be a hermit crab for like a week and you won't see me. And I'm absolutely okay with that, because I'm a little too independent. And I think it's nice having a roommate because you can cook together, you know, you're with somebody you can watch TV, do homework with, study, all that stuff. You know, it makes me a little more social. You know, I've been a little more social junior year. Very proud of myself. And I also really like that being in an apartment, I have my own room that I can still go to. So I don't know how other colleges work, but if you have a suite, you know, maybe have a single in the suite if you're worried for roommates, and then you can still socialize with your roommates, but then you have a space to go when you don't want to, you know, be around anybody, which is what my issue was freshman year. You know, there was no door to close off to them. It's like, okay, if I'm upset here crying, okay, they're all gonna know about it. Or if I'm really excited or I wanna do something, okay, everyone's gonna know about it. There's no just like me time. And moving on to friendships in college, I think the biggest advice for freshmen is that you're gonna meet people, you know, the first 10 people you meet at your school, most likely you're not gonna stick with them throughout college. You know, you're gonna evolve, you're gonna, you know, grow into different groups. You're gonna find those people that you really like. You know, I don't think, for me, I have a set like group of friends, but I have a bunch of different friends from different places. You know, I have friends that are in sororities, I have friends that do sports, I have friends that are very similar to me, very different, you know, all over the place, which I prefer better. And also, that's, I think, one way I've avoided any sort of drama throughout college. Usually I'm just the middleman of any situation, but because I don't have any shared friends, like they all know each other through me, but no one's like a big group together, which is nice for some people, but again, I'm just more independent, so I don't need like a clique of girls, so to speak. I just gotta have like a bunch of different people. So it's nice because no one's drama can get interfolded because no one's in the same friend group. I'm just kind of like floating around, which I'm perfectly fine with. If you want to have a group of friends, go for it, totally up to you, whatever. But I would say if you are a freshman, you know, be friendly in the dining halls, be friendly in the elevators, keep your door open. You know, if you want to make friends, you have to put in some sort of effort. And I don't think that you necessarily have to have a roommate to meet a bunch of other people. Yes, it can be helpful, but again, for me, freshman year, it didn't really affect me at all. I wasn't friends with my roommates. So, you know, you meet people in classes. That's how I met Julia. We just had a class together, and then we were like, hey, I got no one to room with. You want to room? All right, cool. So friends come from all sorts of places. You know, everyone's gonna say, okay, join a club, get a job, do this and that, which is true. To be honest, I'm not really in many clubs, if any at all, because I am so busy doing other work like YouTube and stuff like that. But I still have a good handful of friends, and I don't need 20, 40, 50 friends. The way I like to think about friendship is like, okay, who can I see in my bridal party in like 5 to 10 years? And then the last thing I want to talk about is, of course, parties and going out and having fun and being a college student. And if you guys saw my latest Instagram post, the caption I came up with was, it took me until junior year to go out and have fun, which is true. Now, if you are a freshman, there's just like a freshman thing. If you were, you know, going out at Marquette, there's like the Kilbourne Crawl where you're kind of going to house parties around campus and stuff like that. Don't bring your lanyard, kind of have freshman tattooed across your forehead if you're walking around kind of not knowing where to go. You know, if you're gonna walk with a purpose. Honestly, I'm gonna be so real with you guys. If you want to go and get into a party, whether it's a house party, apartment, dorm, whatever, don't go with a big group of people because they're not gonna let them in. Because they want different groups of people at their party if it is a kind of open pad sort of thing. So if you do plan to go out on the weekends or weekdays, go in a group of like maybe 4 to 5, you know, it can be all girls. Maybe find one dude to throw in there to mix up a little bit, but honestly, that's just the truth. But seriously, be safe if you're going out, be smart. I have said this in so many college videos, but I'm not one to drink or do anything. You know, I'm always the fun, sober sister. It's just not for me. Sometimes people ask like, hey, why don't you drink? Why don't you do this? I just don't really have any interest in it, and I don't think I ever will. So I still go out, I still have fun with my friends. You don't need to drink and get really drunk. You know, a lot of people just get tipsy or buzzed or whatever you want to call it to let loose a little bit. But just for me, I just don't think I need to drink to do that. Like, I can just be fun. Be smart about where you're going. If it's a really large party, it's most likely going to get busted if it's loud, if there's people outside. If you can tell from the outside there it's a party, you probably don't want to go in there because most likely the cops will show up. At Marquette, we have Marquette police that love to kill parties and shut them down, which I get it, they're doing their job, but you know, that's how it is. If you're partying late at night and you want to go home, don't walk alone, especially depending on where your college is located. Although my college is a private university, these streets are like just public, you know, anyone can really walk on them. And late at night and throughout the day, especially at Marquette, you know, there's a lot of different interesting people and you just want to be careful. So if your friends are drunk, if you're drunk, if you're sober, and whatever, you know, whatever the case, don't let anyone walk home alone. Always have some sort of buddy system. Luckily at Marquette we have limos which will come pick you up within a certain radius of campus, so they can take you to and from different places back to your dorm and stuff like that, which I think is a really good and unique thing that Marquette does. But at the end of the day, go have fun, be safe. You're gonna figure college out, whether you change your major 45 times or you walked right in through the doors and you know exactly what you want, and anyway, it's gonna work out. You're gonna meet people, you're gonna have friends, you know, life occasionally is gonna suck. You know, you're not gonna wanna write that 10-page paper, but you're gonna do it and get through, and at the end of the day, you're gonna have a degree, you know, unless you drop out. But if you don't, you're gonna have a degree, you're gonna get a job, and I think the biggest advice I could give to college freshmen and just anyone in college is networking and meeting people in the business is very important. I feel like I've had more opportunities just through knowing people and not necessarily through, you know, saying, oh yeah, like I'm taking this class and stuff like that, and like I kind of know it. Like actually going out and getting those experiences I think is really important. So, you know, have a good group of people around you. Don't be scared, have fun, and just enjoy your time in college, because mine's halfway through. And last weekend was the first weekend I actually kind of really went out and just had fun, and that's kind of rare for me to do. I hope you guys enjoyed my video. I hope you guys found something helpful in it and not me just rambling on for 25 minutes. So I'll see you guys in my next video. For now, make sure to subscribe, like this video, and comment down below if you guys are in college and have any advice that I may have not included in this video, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye guys.